You might be surprised to learn that some locations are so intricately entwined with culture, history, and daily life that it seems like there's a tale to be told around every turn. Imagine strolling down streets where every doorway carries memories of victories, tragedies, and everyday wonder, and where the walls whisper secrets from decades past. Today, we're going to look at 10 of these locations where exploring the area is like turning pages of an epic tale. These places guarantee to pique your interest and uplift your spirit, regardless of whether you're a history buff, an inquisitive tourist, or someone who simply enjoys a good tale. Lisbon, Portugal. Like chapters in a nautical narrative of explorers, poets, and fishermen, Lisbon's hills and winding alleyways unfurl. The city tells a story of longing and exploration with its combination of pastel architecture, mournful fado music, and expansive views. Although the city's warmth and charm have not lessened, the rapid rise of tourism brings with it problems like over-tourism and growing expenditures. Lisbon's story is best experienced slowly by visitors, who can do so by taking the famous tram, eating custard tarts in secret cafes, and taking the sunsets from Miraduros, which seem like the ideal way to cap off a day full of tales to be shared. Havana, Cuba. Stories of revolution, music, and resiliency are set against the cinematic backdrop of Havana, a city with fading pastel buildings and vintage cars. A story of perseverance and happiness in the face of political and economic hardships is told by the city's colonial architecture, lively street life, and salsa rhythms. Havana's vitality is evident in its art, its people, and its old-world beauty, despite its infrastructure problems. Embrace the city's gentler tempo, mingle with residents, and take in the music that permeates every area. It is both humbling and thrilling to experience Havana's tale firsthand, because it is one of extremes, where celebration and poverty coexist. Edinburgh, Scotland. From haunting castles to literary titans like J.K. Rowling and Robert Burns, Edinburgh is a city full with tales. Entering its opulent Georgian new town or medieval old town is like entering a mysterious, magnificent tale. Edinburgh strikes a balance between its history and a thriving cultural life that keeps its narrative fresh in spite of contemporary demands on its historic sites. While peaceful locations like the Royal Botanic Garden provide opportunities for introspection, festivals like the Fringe turn the city into a live theater. Marrakech, Morocco. The Medina of Marrakech is a sensory narrative where every nook and cranny is alive with life, a kaleidoscope of hues, noises, and fragrances. The city feels like a stage where history and modernity dance together, from the mesmerizing rhythm of street musicians to the fragrant swirl of spices. The route involves obstacles like tourist frauds and thronging masses, but with a little forethought, Marrakech offers a warmth and genuineness that transcends the surface. You can discover stories not just in the famous sites, but also in the faces, sounds, and craftspeople who make the city's past come alive every day when you visit the Jardin Majorel or stroll through the busy souks with a local guide. Cusco, Peru. From its indigenous origins to Spanish colonial architecture, Cusco, the former capital of the Inca Empire, is teeming with tales spanning millennia. Every cobblestone roadway and stone in the Plaza de Armas speaks of tenacity, conquest, and blending cultures. The city's lively markets, artisan workshops, and neighboring ruins create an unforgettable story, even though the altitude may be taxing on your lungs. Although there are challenges associated with the expansion of tourism, conscientious visitors who accept Cusco's rhythm are enmeshed in a living past that inspires reverence and awe. Take your time and allow the city's vitality to envelop you like a cozy alpaca blanket, brimming with textures and stories just waiting to be unearthed. Istanbul, Turkey. Istanbul is a crossroad of empires, straddling two continents, where bazaars hum with centuries-old trade and Byzantine churches coexist side by side with Ottoman mosques. It's like flipping through a history book as you stroll through its streets, full with stories about sultans, traders, and rebels who have influenced not just the city, but the entire area. Urban expansion and other contemporary issues can occasionally obscure the borders of this ancient mosaic, but Istanbul's spirit endures. Here, street merchants' laughter blends with the call to prayer to create a soundtrack that is both timeless and contemporary. Kyoto, Japan. Kyoto's alleys transport you back in time, with historic temples, tea cafes, and gardens narrating tales of emperors, poets, and warriors. Because of the city's meticulous heritage preservation, every area is a meticulously crafted story rich in customs and spirituality. However, striking a balance between accessibility and authenticity is made more difficult by the rise in tourism. Those who rise early to see the sunrise at the Fushimi Inari Shrine or walk the philosopher's path find profoundly emotional, peaceful, and intimate Kyoto. The city invites visitors to pay great attention to the distant chiming of temple bells and the gentle rustle of kimono silk, rewarding patience and quiet observation. Venice, Italy. Every canal and piazza in Venice sings a melody of romance, mystery, and artistic talent. Imagine gently floating past canals that were previously frequented by aristocrats, merchants, and painters whose works of art still grace its palaces and churches. However, Venice's tale is not without difficulties. This fragile wonder is in danger due to over-tourism and rising floods. However, the city's tenacity adds to its allure, much like a timeless hero fighting against the obstacles to preserve its narrative. The secret for tourists is to avoid the crowds in St. Mark's Square and venture into lesser-known Sestieri, where you can find a peaceful cafe or a secret artisan's workshop where you might hear deeply moving and intimate tales. Fez, Morocco. When you enter Fez, you are immediately taken to a maze of colorful souks, winding alleys, and ancient medinas that are teeming with life and color. Scholars, craftspeople, and businesspeople have woven a cultural tapestry so rich it feels like a living museum inside the city's walls. Your sense of direction may be put to the test as you navigate the winding streets, but being lost is half the fun. Every turn opens you a new story, from spice markets that tantalize the senses to leather tanneries that smell of ancient artistry. Even though Fez is surrounded by modern construction, the city center is unaltered, beckoning tourists to take their time and enjoy the tales that are carved in each tile and fountain. Prague, Czech Republic. With its Gothic spires and Baroque buildings that seem to bend time itself, Prague is like entering a fantasy world. Alchemists, rebels, and poets who influenced European history can be found on every street in this city. The atmosphere, the cobblestones echoing the footsteps of centuries, is what enthralls, not simply the charming Charles Bridge or the enigmatic astronomical clock. A unique opportunity to hear the city's actual voice is provided by early morning or twilight walks, even though tourist crowds might occasionally feel like background noise to this magnificent stage. Beyond merely vistas, each of these locations offers tales, facets of the human condition, and experiences that stay with you long after you've left. If you enjoy traveling to places where every step has purpose, please hit like, subscribe for more captivating tales, and leave a comment with your own noteworthy spots. Your next adventure can be a story waiting to happen, and traveling is all about gathering stories.